You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Ben Atkins. I'm with Sam Davies Thomas, and we are joined this week by absolutely no one. Sam, what's going on?
We got a member missing actually. I hope he's okay, because we've been trying to get hold of him to get a very important person who rode a big milestone of winners at the weekend on, and he's gone AWOL.
Yeah, blue tick treatment for both me and Sam. Not good. Not good.
Not good.
Biddick, if you're listening, hope you're okay, buddy.
You're done. No, you're done. That's it. You missed your chance. Your chance
Never
to shine.
contact Sam again.
Your chance to be, a celebrity in the pointer world's over.
Yeah, forget it, mate. 600 wins on the board. No one cares. You weren't on episode 9 of Pointing Pointers. Forget it. Career ruined.
Yeah. Done. Finished.
Cancelled.
Hang the boots up as we speak.
It's as if it's Christmas and everyone's busy, Sam, isn't it? And we're just trying to organise a podcast, like it's the most important thing in the world, which, let's be honest, it's not far off, is it?
Nearly there.
So, look, we jest. Will was going to come on, but he's missing in action. So, hope everything's well there. Let's move to Larkhill then. Speaking of Biddick, Sam, there's three winners for Will's Yard.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, obviously we'll just run through the car quickly, but I was big. Nearly had a 600 the winner in the first. When Anna Johnson won on Persio, just got the better of him up the straight. Green Bonnet probably travelled slightly better, but Persio seemed to see it out a little bit better from what I saw. Persio obviously had the experience of a run, and then back in third was He's a Ripper for Kelly Morgan. If you want to laugh, I'll tell you what, go back and watch the start of that race. That gave me a good old. But yeah, it was a bit chaotic. But no, it was good.
Toby became Mitchell, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, he's one of the pod's favourites, isn't he? So I won't knock him too much. But he had a bit of a mishap with the horse at the start, and then He's a Ripper got a bit kind of lit up from that, and probably blew his chances then. But no, good stuff. Anna Johnson, and Biddick's 600 winner came on 5-bar gate for Matthew Hampton. So that was nice for him. And I thought he did it quite nicely. But I see at the sales, was it Thoroughbred today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't meet the reserve, so that's unfortunate.
Yes. It's really hard to value these horses coming out of those races, isn't it?
It's hard. Yeah, we've talked about it loads, haven't we?
Yeah, we should probably not keep going on about it, really, Sam. But
we'll probably just put a hole in our drum that we keep banging on about, but you're probably going to bore people, aren't we? So we'll move on. Unfortunately, then the 4 and 5-year-old race was where Biddick had his mishap. He looked like he was, coming to win the race when he departed from his horse 2 out, which left his other horse then Good Boy out to go on and win at 10-1, 1 by 3 1/4 lengths, and that was for Fred Phillipson Stowe. So that was nice. That
he's in. I'll tell you one thing now. He's like Ruby. He's in the hands of the bookies. This Biddick. Was it evens by any chance? Still, was it?
It was.
Balls off 2 out, and the other one from the yard wins. I'm not buying it.
No, couldn't write it. Well, to be fair, the way he didn't move when he hit the ground, mate, I'm not sure he would have chose to do that. I don't know if you've ever ridden in a race, but I like your thinking, but he didn't really do much moving when he hit the ground. So I'm glad to hear he is okay. But
I spoke to him on Monday. When I spoke to him on Monday, I said, Sam said you might have hurt yourself. Are you all right? And he said, yeah, I hit my arm, but it's fine. So I assumed, and I got told he was unshipped once he'd won on one. So
the
rumor mill is alive and well in racing.
Yeah, and then his last winner of the day came in the last with Fred on again. It absolutely bolted up to on a Southfield Scope, 3rd attempt. Obviously improved with each run. Got a very well-known colours. Waterfriend, I think they're Waterfriend's colours. I could be wrong. No, they're not Waterfriend's colours. Ignore me. I'm making myself sound stupid now. But Southfield Scope, anyway. Looked an impressive winner. I thought that was a horse. Probably last year got beat. Probably looked like a big raw horse last year. It's probably filled its frame now. Strengthened up. And it kicked clear, turning in and won by 15 lengths. So I thought that was quite Quite a nice run. We'd obviously love to know more about them, but sorry, listeners, he's not here.
Uh,
I'll tell you someone who is here though, and this is the difference. Okay, between winning and losing, winning titles and losing titles. We are joined also this evening by James King, who enjoyed a double on the ever more so famous nowadays Grace of Ironki, beating time leader into second with a quite a funny video that has been doing the rounds on probably not social media yet, but I think it probably should. And yeah, James King won Grace of Ironki in the mixed open. I thought it was a good performance in a deep race. And then he went on to win on Gaviga for Luca Morgan in the conditions race. I had a chat with James earlier today, and this is what he had to say. I'm delighted now to be joined by James King on the back of a double at the weekend at Larkhill with Grace of Ironki and Gaviga. James, how are you? First of all, good weekend.
Yeah, no, brilliant weekend. Thank you very much, Sam. And no, just starting to hot up a bit now in terms of racing everything. So no, absolutely delighted with the weekend. Just got in. Long may it continue.
Yeah, that Grace Renke seems to he's a winning machine. He just wins, doesn't he? He's what's the plans for I'm really interested about what you're going to do with him now, because obviously he wins, you keep winning races, but is he good enough to go elsewhere and do bigger and better things, or?
Um, yeah, I just leave it down to the Shepherd team. They've done a phenomenal job with him. They seem to really turned him round and transformed him. Whatever they're doing at home obviously clearly works. As to the bigger picture, I'm not entirely sure really. I know Matt was very keen to just keep going back to Larkhill, which seems to be a bit of a love affair of his. And no, I leave it up to the Hitchens family, the owners, to make their plans like they want to do. But I know Clive's long awaited dream's always been to win the Lady Dudley, so I'd imagine his season will revolve around maybe turning it back there again this year. He was a bit wrong going there last year and probably has a bit of unfinished business, so I think I'd imagine he'd end up there at some stage.
Yeah, it's a remarkable horse because I watched the race back the other day, and obviously in a higher class of race, obviously time leaders, no mug, and Norzil Pino under rules, although that was probably a good run from him back in third with his experience, but he just keeps going, didn't he? He just grinds it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's a model of consistency, especially around Larkhill. He's as slow as a wet wheat, but you have to keep on sort of shoveling on the coal, and he keeps on niggling him along, cajoling him. And he's got his own style of jumping, and people like to crab him, but it works for him, and long may it continue.
Yeah, too right. Yeah, Nikki, as you say, Nikki's done a great job. She does a great job, but the rest of her horses. Moving on to your second winner, Gaviga for Luca. Obviously, that's a good connection that you'd like to probably get going because he seems to have quite a few horses in. But what can you tell me about Gaviga?
Yeah, no, Gaviga, I got the call off Luca sort of a fortnight ago, saying he had the horse entered over the last sort of fortnight or so. Would I like to ride him? I looked him up and obviously knew the horse from under rules and had a huge amount of back class. It was just a case of getting him back on track. What a training performance by Luca! 14 months off the track, showcasing what he can do with the right ammunition. And no, he duly won well. And I mean, I'm not sure they go to the world too quick. You know what it's like after horses first run back after a period of time off. There's often the bounce factor. So probably just get him back, give him a quiet week, assess, and then make a plan from there. But hopefully, all being well, if he can retain that ability, should be plenty of fun going forwards.
Yeah, and Luca, as you say, it'd be great to him to get a few better horses. He's obviously got the place up into his yard. It's a lovely place, and it's nice to get another young trainer coming up through the ranks, isn't it? With all the others kind of going under rules, and it's nice to have Luca on board.
Well, no, that's it. And obviously, a lot of people moved on to professional ranks this season. Max Comley, who was a great supporter of mine, has obviously gone into rules and whatnot, but it's just natural progression, and that's what point to pointing is there for. In retrospect, it's a stepping stone onto bigger and better things and to further young trainers' careers. And it's just great that I can be a small part of Luca's team, and to get a winner for him was even better. I think that was his second winner and first winner of the season. So, no, absolutely great, and just goes to show what he could do with the right calibre of horse. And yeah, no, he can definitely do it. He's got an absolutely amazing place where he is. I was in awe of it walking around. So no, amazing facilities, and he just needs better and faster horses. But I'm sure he'll get them over time.
Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. Another horse I just want to talk about that actually pulled up, Bush Tucker Park. Anything come to light with him, or was that a disappointing run?
Disappointing run. If you know Bush Tucker Park, she's a very quirky little filly, but she was actually going to win at Badbury Rings, and I'm still kicking myself now and have sort of a, not sleepless nights, but regret over it. I was probably going to win. I decked her three from home that day, and it was just a bit of a fact-finding mission again. She had a very heavy fall at Badbury, and it was just a fact-finding mission. Like I said, they went very fast early, and she just never turned up at the races. Made a slight mistake at one fence, and that was the game over. Really, I looked after her from then on in because knowing her so well from obviously riding her at Holly Murphy's all the time, I knew that wasn't her and her true running. So pulled her up for another day, and just need to. It's the wrong time of year for her, really. She likes top of the ground and ideally probably an easy 3, but very limited on options at the moment. But if anyone could do it, Julie Wadling can again. She's a very underrated trainer and great to be associated with her yard.
No, completely agree. It's a long season yet, isn't it? So put a line through that and start again. I haven't actually been racing. I shouldn't admit this, really, should I? But I haven't actually been pointing yet. I'm going to go to Chadsey next week. But on the face of things, the racing is extremely competitive. Am I right? At the minute.
Yes, no, it's extremely competitive, and obviously a lot of people like to crab it. Oh, British pointing this, British pointing that, but I say to them, you try and win a race, it's absolutely impossible. The calibre of training is second to none, and probably a lot of professional yards would struggle to train a winner point to pointing. So extremely competitive, especially at the moment. No doubt, come the spring and April, May time when the ground dries up and people have probably ran out through the season. It will cut up into weaker racing, and then we might see some slightly different results on the different type of ground and different tracks. But it's very competitive up until about sort of the end of February, beginning of March time, and even then it's still difficult to win. So great to get a few winners on the board, and absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it looks healthy, so that's good. Just moving forward before I let you go. Next week, you see, you got a few book rides for Chadsey, Corbett, and Horseheath. Any listeners that horses they should look out for those couple of days?
Yes, got some really nice book rides. Horses I'm quite excited about. Glenmount makes his seasonal debut. It's probably not the ideal track, ground and trip, whatever, but it's a starting point, 2.5 miles, left-handed's key to the horse, and a bit of cut on the ground wouldn't go amiss with him. Really looking forward to him. And another horse that I'll be looking forward to hopefully teaming up with is a horse of Ian Shannon's. He is I was at Dunsmore first time out, and he was the only horse in the race, hadn't had a run previously, so he only got beat 5 lengths by the winner of Will Biddick's called Vol Royale. The 5th horse has actually come out and win since and franked the form, so very exciting horse going forward. I think called Successful or Successful or something like that. So very exciting.
Perfect. No, that'd be good. Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us, and well done at the weekend, and we'll catch up at Chadsey, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, Sam. See you soon.
Top man.
Always good to hear from Jimmy. And Sam, just to tie a little bit of a bow on things down at Larkhill, it was good. You mentioned before Fred Phillipston-Stone winning for the Biddick Yard. That's his first outside ride as such, which is good. And been riding a lot for his father. His first winner, for someone other than his dad. So go on, Fred. Good on you. So up to Alnwick we go, and it is a fair way between Wiltshire and Alnwick. But some interesting winners up there as well, Sam.
Yeah, as we spoke last week on the podcast, we spoke to Kelly. She gave us a rundown on her horses, and 2 of them, Julia Blige, Batsman Jack, who she said she liked a lot, won by 2.5 lengths at a big price, actually 5-1. Would have been that if you were up there, would it?
Brief diversion, Sam. I was at Catterick yesterday, and I get a video through on my phone saying if ever I've seen a betting man, there he is, and it's a video from John Barlow who's up in Owners and Trainers watching me walking up, prowling up and down the lines looking for a prize. I
guarantee it didn't win.
It's almost as if we speak twice a day, Sam. How did you know that? Twice a day, if only.
I wish. I can't put the phone down quick enough. Anyway, so we digress.
We do. So, speaking of Alnwick, we spoke to 2 people who ran a horse there this weekend. First of which is Laura Fenwick, and we can talk to her now. Laura Fenwick, firstly, congratulations on your win at the weekend on King Ruler in the conditions race at Alnwick. How are you getting on, and what can you tell us about the horse?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. It was a good day for everybody. He's a lovely little horse. This will be the third season now we've had him. Mum bought him as a 60th birthday present to herself.
Nice.
He'd shown a bit of promise as a 4-year-old. He did win a couple of hurdle races. And had a few little niggles and whatever. Mum ended up with him, and he took a little bit of getting going at the beginning. It wouldn't have been the most confident over a fence to start with and things like that. But Mum's been really patient with him, done a lot with him in the arena, the schooling side of it, bit like working on the poles and stuff. And yeah, she's done a very good job of him, and got him back to winning ways eventually, 5 years later. But
Yeah, well, that's what struck me about this really, and I mentioned it on the Nick Look thing. It's like, he's been the bridesmaid a lot of times, and a couple of times he's come second, running some really good horses.
yeah,
And yeah, it's a massive show of patience from your mum to just keep tipping away with him, and then a big shout, Laura, to put you back up on top. Could have had a pick of anyone. If she chose you, you must feel delighted.
I don't know about that. There might have been some crosswords if she hadn't. To be honest, when the first time she ran him, I was just recovering from an operation. So, Amy Waff actually rode him over hurdles. And
She's
Joanna
all right.
Walton rode. Yeah, she's a very good pilot. Joanna Walton rode him that first season as well, and I could say his jumping still wasn't great then, and I was like, nah, I don't want to ride that one.
You can forget it.
But once I'd recovered a bit, and like I say, Mum had kept chipping away at him, so I was quite happy to get on by that point.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And so about your riding, you've kind of had a bit of an injury. You like the Jack Kennedy of the female weighing room in pointing, I suppose. You've had more injuries than you've had rides, but just tell us a bit about.
I don't know if I'm quite as bad as him.
No.
It was just it was a big hip operation is what it was, and then but no, I was really lucky, got in at Jack Berry House, and they sorted me out quicker than probably should have. Sped it all up, so that was good. But yeah, no, just like at one point it didn't really feel like I would ever get back to being able to do it. So no, just really grateful for them.
Oh, fantastic. And you mentioned your mum had done a lot of pole work and stuff like that. Obviously, you do a lot of sort of event riding and breaking in and stuff at the farm. Something that you do a lot of with young horses of all types. Have you got any? You got any young horses that you're going to take pointing this year, or sticking to?
We've got a nice little Falco 3-year-old here. So he's just a small horse, but he's taking everything really well, looking promising. So the aim would be to get him to one of the point bumpers in the new year, hopefully.
Nice. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that one.
And so, Sam, this week's shout out, we're keen to stress it's not just about the big yards and the obvious characters on this podcast. We try where we can to shine a light on people that are starting out, people that are having their first winners, all that sort of stuff as well. So sometimes it takes a little bit more digging, and me and Sam are both quite individually busy people, so we don't always see everything that goes on. If you think there's something that we're missing and we ought to be highlighting it, please bring it to our attention, which is exactly what happened with a trainer called David Bingham, I should say. He was training out of Newmarket, and someone wrote a note to me just sort of explaining a few things about him. Looked into it, given him a call. It's fascinating stuff, and we caught up with him to see what he had to say about it all. So here's me and David.
So I'm joined now by Dave Bingham. And Dave, look, we came across each other recently on Instagram and had a chat in Messenger there. And let's start from the beginning. So it's an interesting story. You're based in Newmarket now, and this is your third year in training. But you're in the Premier League as a physio and now have a master's in sports rehab. So for people who don't know you, could you tell us a little bit about the journey so far and I guess why you've fallen in love with training horses?
Yeah, well, thanks, Ben. I started out life trying to be a footballer and failed
we all?
miserably because I know exactly. You know, it's a well documented story in that way. I was trying to be a goalkeeper, and I'm 5'7", so that was never going to work, was it? But I always wanted to be a physio as well as a footballer. So obviously the second thing was physio. So when I first trained as a physio, I started to treat footballers, obviously, and horses. And basically, I was up in the northwest. I was in Wigan, and I was looking after some eventers. And then I got the job at Ipswich Town, so that brought me down to football really. And I just stayed in football for what seemed like ever. And we went into the Premiership, and you know, it was a great time. After I left football, I set up a rehabilitation company and got involved in insurance in high value players, footballers, basically.
Right.
Football
Okay.
clubs. And then over the last sort of 7-8 years, I've gone back into education really, and did a master's degree in football science and rehab, and I've been auditing Premiership and Champions League clubs around Europe for quite some time now. So seeing what they're doing with their players medically, sports science, all that sort of thing.
How interesting.
So I probably know more about it now than I did when I was treating people years ago, you know.
Yeah.
But I always had this. Well, I always had this desire to train racehorses. Never a desire to own racehorses, but I wanted to train them because I felt it's very similar to footballers, except they don't go out on the lash as often anyway. So I thought there might be a chance there. So anyway, a couple of 3 years ago, I decided, look, I've got to stop talking about it and I've got to get on and do it. So picked up a few horses. We ran 2 years ago. We had a few. And then last year we didn't do anything, various reasons, and we're back at it again this year. But the main principle being that I'm trying to do things a little bit differently. So adopting some of the issues, some of the challenges that the football and sports science world have had, and try and pull them across into the equine world.
That's absolutely fascinating. And so, could we drill into that a little bit? You know, can we talk some specifics, I suppose, if I can get my words out? You know, how is it affecting your approach? We've spoken before, and I think I've mentioned it on the podcast a while ago, actually, about the Enduro Equine tool, which reads heart rate and things. But I think now does a bit more with stride length and gait and that kind of thing. Talk us through some of the sort of tools that you're trying to bring into your training.
Okay, well, in the football world, every player has a heart rate and GPS on them for every training session in every game.
Of course.
So you know exactly how many meters they've run, how fast they've run, accelerations, decelerations, twists, turns, jumps, etc. And so there's almost too much data, and that's one of the challenges, is always to see what data you should be looking at and what is meaningful versus what you can leave behind. So I've been using a heart rate monitor now for all the time we've been working, and as you say, the EnduroFit is great because it will give us real-time data. I mean, one of the things that blows me away is I could have a horse on the gallops. In fact, I have a horse on the gallops, and it tells me, I'm looking at my phone, and it tells me the heart rate and the speed that it's going at. But also, I could have you or the owner in Australia dialing in and looking at that at the same time.
Wow.
Which absolutely blows my mind, because I just think it's brilliant. You know, when people talk about what's my horse doing, well, there you go, have a look. It's actually doing it.
That would terrify a lot of trainers if we're on this day.
Yeah. Well, it might do, but I just think in this day and age, people expect to know what's happening, and this sort of information is available in real time, or obviously you can dial in and look at it at any time as well afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of approach that we've had in the football world for probably 20 years now, where we know. I mean, there's a classic example of Gareth Bale who needed to run 10 kilometres on a Thursday for him to play well on a Saturday. That's what he believed, and that's what sports science guys did. And at 10 kilometres exactly, they would pull him off the pitch, off the training pitch, even if he wasn't finished. Or if he hadn't finished 10k and the rest of the team had finished, he'd have to stay out there and do a bit more. So that's how precise they're looking at stuff.
I wonder what they're doing now. He's playing golf.
Well, no, exactly. He's probably a scratch golfer as well, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. That's really interesting.
Other things like saliva testing has been something that Man City, for example, do a lot of saliva testing on their players before games, half time, for looking at their recovery, looking at their stress levels, looking at their readiness to train. So a big part of the football world, because of the number of games and the intensity of the games, is looking at the recovery post-event. And that's something that saliva testing can give you great information without being invasive, like a blood test is invasive.
Yeah.
So we're doing quite a bit with that.
It's really, really, really interesting. And so, in terms of more conventional facilities, you're down in Newmarket, so I mean, the world's your oyster, presumably. But have you got access to a gallop?
It's fantastic. We're at the King's Yard at Edgerton Stables. So we've got an 8 furlong wood chip gallop that's 3 or 4 horses wide. We've got a 6 furlong grass gallop, and then right next to us we've got the Cambridge Road 12 furlong all weather, and then across the road we've got the schooling grounds of the Links. So we've got everything physically that we need. We've also then got access to the jockeys, which has been a big thing for me, is having the readiness to having the ability to get jockeys in whenever we want. But one of our advantages is we train in the afternoon, so we try and train at a time that a horse is going to race at, and so that means the majority of the jockeys in Newmarket are asleep in the afternoons because they're obviously up early morning. So I've got a selection of about 2,000 jockeys, probably, or not, about 1,000 jockeys. So yeah, that works well for us.
That's really, really interesting. So I'm sure we're going to have you back on. But look, before we do, you've had a runner up at Alnwick, which, as we were discussing off air, is an amazing track, really. And you're looking to run one at Hampton in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, so the Alnwick one was just a mega trip, but what a fantastic course that was, and such a beautiful setting. Everyone's so friendly there, so it was well worth the journey. Uncle Frankel had been off for 18 months, having had a wind up, so he just needed an op. Chesley Corbett was off the week before, where he was scheduled to run, so he just needed the run, and so it was a big old drive from here. But our next race is our closest race, which will be at Hampton, which is Bury St Edmunds, just up the road from Newmarket, really. So it's one extreme to the other.
Perfect, just around the corner. So what's the ambition for the season? What's the goal? You're clearly a sports. You know all about the intricacies of sport, and one of those things is setting targets. So what's the target, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, well, get some winners would be nice. That would be the first thing. Get some regular runs, get the horses running regularly, and trying to get them winning, which obviously depends on the quality of the horses as much as the quality of the training, I think, and just learning from everybody. I've set up this little company called Scarts Racing, which is a blend of science and art. So I've got a bit of the science and just trying to bring the art together, because it's not all scientific, it's not all easy. It's about bringing the two together, merging them, and transferring some of the knowledge from different areas. So, for example, one of the things we use lycra tops, so like the cycling top, so the skin tight as opposed to flapping silks everywhere. So I don't mind nicking ideas from any sport. It doesn't have to be football, but that little bit of wind resistance, or helping reduce wind resistance, we're just hoping those sort of things are going to help.
Funnily enough, the only set of colours I've got are lycra. But
is that because you're Is that because you're so fat though that they're just fitting you really tight? Well, they're not like original.
Don't use that. No, they're not for me. Although I have worn them once. No, the O'Neill started using them, didn't they, when they had got a few glut of horses under rules, and I just thought they looked quite smart. But yeah, it made a bit of sense to me that they probably. It's got to be marginal. It's got to be a marginal gain, as they say in the sporting world, but it makes some difference, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Well, listen, Dave. What do you presumably you're? Well, it's great to speak to you at the start of this voyage, and let's keep checking back in. What if I want to own a horse in your yard? What should I do? Presumably, how many horses have you got at the moment?
We've only got 6 at the moment.
Well, it's good. It's more than many, but if presumably you're looking for owners and things, so how do they get in touch?
Well, anyone who wants to come on this journey with us, it's a journey of exploration, and hopefully we'll turn a few milestones on the way. But yeah, just give us a call, contact us, Instagram, that sort of thing. We're on social medias, Facebook and so on, and just come and have a look. I mean, it's a spectacular setting, Newmarket anyway, but where we are is particularly lovely. And we're very happy to go through what we're trying to do, and even just following us would be good. But if someone's got a horse that perhaps, I mean, again, the other big thing about my physio background is the key from our perspective is not getting them injured first and then getting them fit after that. So I'm very, very much aware of that sort of mantra: don't get them injured and then get them fit. So maybe people who've had a horse or have got a horse that perhaps has had some issues, it might be an interesting time to take a slightly different approach.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely fascinating, and thanks so much for coming on. So, Scart Racing on Instagram, and do get in touch with Dave if you've got a horse to send him. Thanks, Dave.
So, Sam, Shaddersley on the 29th of December and the 31st of December at Horseheath. We're probably not going to have a podcast before that, I think it's fair to say. So we better have a little look at those now.
Yeah, definitely. We'll enjoy a bit of Christmas like everyone else, I suppose. But yeah, we'll be at Chadsey Corbett. Obviously, the entries only came out today. We're recording this on Wednesday. So I haven't had a chance to go through it in depth. But what I was talking to James King earlier about was, how competitive the racing is. And there's not a single race over the next 2 meetings that have got less than 10 entries. The 4 and 5-year-old maiden at Chadsey has got 24 entries. I think the Open there as well has got 20 entries in the men's and 15 in the ladies. It's real competitive stuff at the minute. And if you want a good day's racing, I highly recommend you get yourself down to Chadsey Corbett. And yeah, you'll be really rewarded with what you'll see. I think there's some top class horses going there. And again, Horseheath as well. It'd be lovely ground up at Horseheath. Great track if you haven't been there. Proper kind of fair track, nice staying track, and a lot of nice horses have gone through there before. So it's really exciting. We were saying earlier that this is probably staying a square in the chops, isn't it, Ben? To be honest, that if we want competitive racing, we need to keep the racing small and not dilute all the meetings. I know it's hard, and during kind of March, April time, there's a lot of meetings on, and it's the way that the hunts make money, and it's good. But if we want to keep pointing going, I think we need to kind of get rid of some of the tracks that don't do as well and don't appeal to as many people, and keep the racing tighter. It's really shown this time.
Yeah.
It's really hard, isn't it? I know there's going to be a lot of backlash to what I'm thinking, but I think it's really competitive and it's good. You want competitiveness, don't you?
So I was all up for a lot of banter tonight, Sam, and a bit of Christmas spirit and a bit of frivolity as we enjoy our port. But you've put me in a serious thinking mood, which is dangerous. And in all seriousness, we've talked about this. Sam's looking at me like, if you're watching this on YouTube, Sam's looking at me like, I don't know, where are we going here?
I thought we'd keep this short and sweet. I'm worried now. What have I started?
No. It's funny, isn't it? Like in any of the sort of business scenarios, say, and I'm not claiming to be Lord Sugar here. I'm just calling what I'm saying. In any of the business scenario, you would kind of, in the scenario that pointing finds itself in, you would sort of incubate a little bit and get rid of the things that aren't really working or that are causing a problem within the business and focus on the good things that you've got, the good products, I suppose. And like you say, where we're having less fixtures, we've talked about this so many times and people are probably sick of it, but the racing is so much better. And there is fixtures which are out there which have been there forever and a day, and like you say, are raising money for the hunts, which I'm a big fan of hunting and all the rest of it. So it does just make you wonder, doesn't it, that if pressure is put on hunting in the forthcoming years and some of the hunts are lost, whether actually some of these meetings will fall by the wayside as a natural matter of course, and whether actually we really do need to change the fixture list looking at what's coming down the road, because it's likely that we're probably naturally going to lose some of these fixtures just to the winding down of some hunts, whether it's government pressure or whether they just fold because of the financial pressure that's on hunting as well.
Yeah, and you spoke with Jane, didn't you, from Chadsey Corbett, and it would have been really important to see how that meeting that got called off got on, really, and whether that could have been like a test for everyone else, and they could then move on to different other tracks and give them advice. So I'm sure it'll happen again, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
to put a bit of positive spin and get us back in the Christmas spirit after that dark turn, Sam, the entry for Chaddesley, like you say, is really, really good. And by all accounts, I haven't spoken to many people that aren't going to be there on the 29th, so I think it's going to be a bit of a feel-good Christmas knees up. And you're going, I'm hoping to go. And
Are you going?
Yeah.
You going?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going.
I saw that come in from an absolute 3 strides out.
You can't see that fall from 3 strides out, mate. Trust me, I've seen you ride.
Speaking of horse heath as well, you reminded me of our good friend Gordon from the forum, who is doing an absolutely marvellous job of coordinating the merry band of forumites who have donated, as of you, Sam, we won't dwell on it, to the to Chase series. Thank you so much to all those, again, who have donated to this series. It's really taking some shape now. And just a reminder to anyone who hasn't yet but feels able to, I know it's a tight time of year for everyone as well, but anyone who's able to, the Just Giving link will be in the show description from this week, and we'll try and share it on the Instagram and other places. So look out for that. Even if you're able to give a $5, it all goes into the pot, and it's looking like there's going to be a significant amount of features, which is brilliant. Also,
have we mentioned NLB before on here for people who don't listen to NLB?
I'm not sure we have some actually. Do you want to take this?
No, this is your baby. You go. You tell.
You can't keep doing that. You can't just keep saying, no, this is your thing, mate. I'll just sit here.
It's all your thing. I'm just drunk here screaming and cricking every night.
I was talking about this on the daily, and he's kindly agreed to sort of weigh in with us on 2 fixtures, and as a result of that, he's putting up $5,000 to anyone who manages to win both fixtures, one of which is at Catterick and one of which is at Kempton, which is massive. If anyone's got a horse that might be suitable for such a contest, to run one in March and then back it up in April, very different tracks obviously, he's put a stipulation in there that they have to run in a British point-to-point, which is fantastic. So yeah, really, really, really good. Nick loves his pointing clearly and is keen to do anything he can to support the grassroots. So yeah, thanks so much again to everyone who's donated so far. Really appreciate it. And
you've donated, obviously.
No, I haven't yet, Sam.
All right. And you're asking other people, but you haven't done it yourself.
There's something in my nature, right? The people behind the scenes that know what the crack is will give me a free pass, Sam. Okay. But
I'm behind the scenes
because they understand the crack of what's going on. But for your benefit, the more you keep asking me, the more I won't. Just know that about me. All right.
All right.
Do you think that was a suitably awkward silence for anyone not watching on YouTube? Go stand in the corner and face the wall. Let's talk briefly about the sales before we bring things to. By the way, everyone, we were like, this is going to be a short episode. Just keep it really tight. It's Christmas. There's loads going on. Let's keep it to like 30 minutes. It's going to be about an hour. So, Sam, the sales.
Yeah, Thoroughbred. Obviously, today, as I said earlier, all the horses there didn't actually meet their reserves. There were a number of them in there from Larkhill, so they didn't meet their reserves, which is a shame. We won't go on about that. But some good news from Cheltenham was John Dawson's horse Jack the Lad sold for 120,000, which is a great result for them. Very well done to them. Horse John spoke about on the podcast with us. Both the horses actually that sold there, John Road. That was really good for them. And then the Coltard horse was actually withdrawn prior to the sale, was sold privately, and that is going into training with Dan Skelton. So Dan, obviously, a man who knows, he's had a lot of success recently. Obviously, Country Mile, Royal Infantry, and many more horses. Definitely in Silence, another one that I think will be a nice horse in time. Ran at Cheltenham, probably wants further now. It's good that Dan's supporting it again, and he bought that before it went to the sale. So good result for both, I think.
Ooh, friends. It's not Tom and Gina, it's Dan that, and I for one am sick of it.
Right.
Any other business? Any other business?
Yeah, he's getting Marty now. He's getting cross. Liverpool are on in the background. He wants to be off. Anyway, Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you in 2024, and I look forward to many more episodes of this very podcast in 2025. Happy Christmas, baby.
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you, Ben. It's been a very enjoyable 2024, hasn't it? And thanks very much to our listeners who listen to us regularly, maybe, or regularly not. I'm not sure, but no, there seems to be a good following, and I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, anything we need to do better for 2025, I've got a lot of things on my list I need to do better for 2025, but we'll keep it sweet.
Any New Year's resolutions, Sam?
I've got a list, but I'm not sure which one to start on. I'll decide after New Year's Day.
Yeah, good idea. And on that bombshell, we'll see you all in the new year. Lots of love and a Merry Christmas from me and Sam.
Ciao.
You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast.